Chapter 17. Arthur was sitting in his office, reading reports of a muggle being attacked by a spitting teapot, when an owl flew in and requested his presence at Malfoy Manor. "Tell Bagman I was summoned for an emergency," Arthur told the boy at his desk. He was there to tell the minister if anyone left for any reason. "Yes, sir, Mr. Weasley. Is it a family emergency?" Arthur just shook his head. An owl came and said it was an emergency. Arthur left in a hurry. Percy was at Malfoy Manor with Draco, Fred, George, and Harry for the weekend. Arthur prayed that Percy was okay. "Is Percy okay?" Arthur asked Narcissa as soon as he stepped through the flue. "Yes, he is fine. He had a small depression episode and needs you." Narcissa led him to the study where his baby was cuddled up with Harry and Draco. "Daddy!" Percy ran and jumped into Arthur's arms and started to kiss him all over his face. "I missed you, Daddy." Percy rested his head on Arthur's shoulder. "What happened, baby boy?" Arthur saw Harry and Draco being led away by the twins with promises of pranks. "I woke up and you were gone. You never leave me alone in the morning." Percy started crying. "I thought you went back to Molly, that you didn't love me anymore." Percy was sobbing into Arthur, and he was still scared that Arthur would leave. Molly hated Percy since he was 10, when she found out he wasn't Dumbledore's son. "I will never leave you. You are my baby boy, my mate, my life." Arthur made Percy look him in the eye. "I love you more than my own life. I will never leave you for Molly, because you have something she'll never have." Arthur kissed Percy, and Percy giggled. When Arthur made a face, "Molly doesn't have what I have?" Percy asked. "She isn't my baby boy." Arthur drew out the word boy. Arthur was bisexual, but had a preference for men. Now he has a preference for his Percy. Molly had never made him feel the way Percy did, and it was Lady Magic that granted them the right to be mates. "Can you stay, Daddy?" Percy kissed Arthur's jaw and stayed in his arms. "I will say that my son needs me." Arthur was given another kiss from Percy and some more giggles before fire-calling work and saying that Percy had a relapse and needed to have some magic from a parent. "So, my baby, what are we going to do today?" Percy kissed him and led him to where the others were. "Can we go back to Grimmauld Place?" Percy asked Harry, who nodded and grabbed his things. They practically ran to the flue. Sirius was surprised, but caught Harry and they went to their room. The twins and Draco stayed at Malfoy Manor. Arthur was led to the room Sirius gave them. "Daddy, can we play?" Arthur watched his mate's blush grow. "Of course, baby." They started kissing, and soon it got heated. Arthur waited until Percy was of age to do anything, but now Percy wanted to play more, and Arthur was happy to give in. After playing, both of them lay together, enjoying each other. "I love you, Daddy." Percy kissed Arthur and fell asleep with his head on Arthur's chest. "I love you more, baby boy." Arthur fell asleep with his mate in his arms, more content than he had been in years. Sirius and Harry were cuddling and kissing, and just being together without classes. "I don't want to go back to school. I want to stay with you." Harry was pouting and being extra clingy. "Harry, I love you, but you need your education. I will not be happy if Severus or Lucius chop off my head." Sirius kissed Harry's neck where an axe would go and licked it. "They wouldn't kill you. They would make you smell like a wet dog for weeks." Harry giggled, and then went for the kill. "Father would make your hair look bad for months." Harry laughed at Sirius's horrified face. "Pup, you can't let them ruin my hair." Sirius was fake pleading on his knees. "I might, only if you get me treacle tart." Harry was kissed roughly by Sirius, then saw Creature come in with the treat. Little Master Harry is being wanting treats. Creature loved Harry. He made life come back to the sad old house elf. And Walburga's portrait loved the little boy. Thank you, Creature. Harry hugged the elf. That was another thing that Creature was getting used to. Hugs from the little master. You is very welcome, little master Harry. Creature is making your favorite dinner now. The house elf made Harry's favorite foods. He gave Percy fruit, something he wanted more of now. The house guessed the little one was pregnant. Little Master Harry is you and no good master inviting over Miss Sissy and Master Draco, Master Fred, and Master George? Creature liked the twins, if they stayed out of his kitchen and his small space. Yes, Father and Dad are coming too. Harry was happy. He missed his father. Father was important in the ministry and had a lot of work to do, but he always made time for his sons. Sirius and Harry were in their room until dinner, and Harry had dropped his glamour. Now he had his cat ears and tail out, and he looked more like his parents. His eyes were still Avada Kedavra green, but he had paler skin and a more Malfoy look. Good evening, cousin, Narcissa said, hugging Sirius. Father, Dad, Dre. Harry went past everyone and hugged the people he missed. Son, Lucius chuckled and hugged Harry back. Harry, you need to be more careful. Severus kissed the top of Harry's head. Hair Bear. Draco was hugging Harry, and then Fred and George took Draco back. You shouldn't steal all of our mates' attention. They laughed and sat together waiting for Creature to finish dinner, and for Arthur and Percy to join them. I want to talk about the summer holiday, Lucius said, looking at Harry and Sirius. Harry can't stay with those horrid muggles, and Dumbledore won't let him stay here unless the blood traitors and mudblood are here. Lucius and Severus shared a look. We would love it if you would stay at Malfoy Manor over the summer, Severus said, and Harry launched himself into his parents' arms. I would love to. Can Sirius stay with us? The men nodded, and Sirius put Harry back on his own lap. We might stay with Tom, but staying with you until Riddle Matter is livable again? Sirius kissed Harry on his forehead. The Dark Lord will stay with us. It is an honor, Narcissa said, and smiled at Harry. Narcissa saw Harry as a son, and she was honored that she could help both of her lord's mates. Dinner is done, Creature told them. Sorry we were late. Arthur came into the dining room carrying Percy. It's okay, we haven't started yet, Harry told them, and they started an informal dinner. Mates sat in their mates' laps if they wished. Sirius fed Harry, and Percy was fed by Arthur. Both twins fed Draco. Severus was being watched closely by Lucius, and accepted help when he offered. Severus was used to having meals in the Great Hall surrounded by teachers, and loved when he was alone. His mate would do what dominant mates did for Nikos and feed him. Dad, why don't you take your glamour off? Harry asked Severus, who blushed and looked at Lucius, who nodded. Severus took off the glamour and revealed a pair of grey cat ears and a grey cat tail. You're like me. Harry got off his mate's lap and sat in Severus's lap. Severus fed Harry from his plate, and the kitten loved feeling his dad's tail keeping him from falling off his lap. Nikos need contact with their parents more than most creatures. They feel the need to be with one or both Nico parents, Narcissa explained. She knew that James and Severus were Nikos, and that Lucius was a Dark Vila. Harry, are you going to stay with Sev the whole time? Sirius wanted his mate back. So sue the guy. His mate was his, and Sirius was on edge without his dominant. Can I stay with him, Siri? Just for a little bit longer? Sirius nodded. He couldn't say no when his mate turned on the puppy eyes and crocodile tears. Yay! Harry cuddled closer to Severus's scent and started to fall asleep. Can you eat a little more? Then you can have some treacle tart. Severus kissed the top of Harry's head and pat the cat ears. Can I have treacle tart now, Daddy? Harry asked, looking at Severus, who only smiled. One more small bite of mashed potatoes, then treacle tart. Severus counted and got a smile. Harry did what he was told and then got his reward, a treacle tart and a scratch on the ears from his father. Overall, a great night, and Severus was forced to give his son back to Sirius. The Nico side of Severus didn't want to let him go. Sleep well, son. Sirius and Severus both kissed the boy goodnight before retiring to their rooms back at Malfoy Manor. Come, Draco, Fred, George. Narcissa took the boys to Malfoy Manor, and they all went to bed. Arthur and Percy saw a pregnancy test on their bed with a note. Take this. Eyes be seeing funny things. It was from Creature. Percy was tired, and so Arthur promised they would take the test in the morning. His mate was being a bit strange lately, but it could be nothing. If he was pregnant, they would have to move out of the burrow permanently.